there was a debate amongst the governor wannabes. And the question was asked about the border. And I have to tell you, Matt Salmon, who has appeared in the center ring of the conservative circus, he had a plan for the border crisis.
Mr. Salmon, first of all, what is your greatest concern that is happening at our border? And will you complete the wall where it is not finished? And lastly, how will you stop illegals from coming into our state?
I'm glad you asked the question. I've said repeatedly, when I get elected governor, the first press conference I do is with a post hole digger on the border, because if the feds aren't going to do it, we'll get it done. And if we have to offset and put it on state land to get that done, then we'll get that done. And also to negotiate with the Indian tribes, it'll probably have to be done because a lot of the land, unfortunately, is on the tribal lands and their sovereign nations, so we're going to have to negotiate with them. But let the games begin. We need to start that now.
Yeah. We will negotiate with the tribes, with the nations. But when it comes to state lands, we will put up a border. Okay. We've heard that before. We've heard about putting up a border, a wall on state lands, but negotiating with the Indian tribes, that's not talked about very much.
The second thing, though, is I've met with our sheriffs all over the state, and they've told me what they're doing and that the federal government will not allow them to do anything but surveil. They won't allow them to apprehend. Well, that's crap. That's our job as our state is to protect our sovereign government as well. In fact, in Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution says two things. It says every state is guaranteed a Republican form of government. And the second thing it says, the United States of America guarantees that every state will be free from invasion. Folks, are we free from invasion? No. Are we? No. Okay. Well, do we have a right to stand up for ourselves? Yeah. Absolutely. And so I believe that applies to the wall, but that also applies to arresting people for violating our state laws.
That is something will be discussed here as well. We had a former Supreme Court justice said, you know what, you can enforce private property laws. Here you have Salmon saying that. He's also sounding a lot like DeSantis when we have the moral responsibility, the constitutional right and protections to push back against invasion, to push back against a federal government that's not doing their job.
And just to make sure that we do it right, I want to do exactly what they did in Texas. They declared disaster areas in the counties where the most illegal immigration is happening. And then the laws, the punishment for violating state laws goes way up. So we can actually incarcerate them. So even though Joe Biden has out a welcome mat, we're going to say, that don't apply to Arizona. The second thing is, once we've incarcerated them, I'm going to send the bill to the federal government because they're not doing their job. They are not doing their job. And we're going to make sure that they do their job.
Incarcerate people. And I like that idea of sending the bill to the federal government. But, we have to be prepared in case that doesn't happen. But incarcerate them, yes. Create a disincentive for the cartels.
I've said over and over and over again, the answer to our questions as a state is Nancy Reagan's policies of just saying no to the federal government time and time again. If you're not going to do what you're constitutionally required to do, then we'll get it done. And if you're telling us to do something that's not in the Constitution, then we're not going to do it. Plain and simple. That's the way we have to have a governor that leads this state and fights for our sovereignty and our constitutional freedoms.
I have no problem with anything that was said there. And what I absolutely love is that we have to get back to the Constitution. We have to get back to the Constitution.